FlossTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Robin and you have found my channel, Lady Robins. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is the, if I got this right, the 12th of May. So welcome to all of you on May 12th to my cross stitch channel. If you're brand new here, if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for stopping in, seeing what my channel is all about. I hope that you will stick around. We are going to talk about cross stitch and all things stitchy related. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. I truly appreciate all of you being here. Yeah, I really do. If I've got my count right, I believe we are on FlossTube episode number 74. Pretty big milestone, right? Yay, 74 of these. All right, I have a few stitching whips to show you. I have a finish. I have haul. I told you last week on my FlossTube video that I was off for a shopping trip with some girlfriends, and there was shopping. I have things to show you from the shopping. Before we get going, I just want to do a quick stitchy kindness thank you. I forgot to do that last week on my FlossTube and I felt bad. I looked down at my counter and there were stitchy things that I wanted to thank you for. So before we even roll on, let's do that first. So stitchy kindness thank yous. First, my friend Sumi, who lives all the way on the East Coast, she sent me a beautiful dinky die because she knows my love of things green and blue. So I have from Sumi a dinky die in the color jungle green. So Sumi, thank you for this. I am so looking forward to finding a project for that. She went to Fire Poppies and she said, here's your souvenir from my trip, which is great. So thanks, Sumi. I appreciate that. Next up for stitchy kindness, we want to thank Anna, who is not a sock in sight on Instagram. So if you want to see some beautiful stitching, follow Anna. She is fantastic. So she sent me this beautiful card, and inside the card, and I'll just cover up the nice note she wrote me, she included 4 of the, I think you pronounce them Prim needles that came in my Owl Forest kit. Now, Anna, don't worry, I have used the needles, but I wanted to put them back so I could show folks how clever you were to put those on a piece of fabric and put them in the mail, and they came nice and secure. So I put them back, but now I'm going to take them out and keep using them because I really like them. So yeah, thank you for those needles, Anna. I really appreciate it, and they are working beautifully. I love them. I love them. So that was my second stitchy kindness that I wanted to talk about. And then my third stitchy kindness, yesterday at our meetup at Acorns and Threads, Becca of Sambry Stitches gifted me with my very first Rae Dunn mug. So I have my morning coffee, not in a Starbucks mug, but in my very first Rae Dunn. She gave me a mug that says Survivor, and I truly love that. I love it, love it. It's got a beautiful pink interior, and our beverage this morning, brewed coffee. It is a morning for coffee. I'm here for all the coffee, right? I love this mug. I love this mug already. Okay, so what did I get up to this week? Somehow the week went and there is not as much stitching as I would like to report. Some weeks are like that, right? But I did have a teeny tiny finish, so I'm gonna start with my finish. It is a freebie from Lizzie Kate, and it's called Friendship Grows. And on the chart, because it's a freebie, I'll just flash this at you. There's supposed to be a border. And I don't think it needs the border. In my head, it's finished, so I am going to create a pillow out of this sometime this week. That's my plan. And then I still have the other Lizzie Kate Freebie that I finished up the other last week. So I've got 2 pillows to finish and get on display. So there we have it. I am embarrassed to tell you how many nights this took me to stitch. I think I stitched on this thing for 3 nights. This is not a 3-night project, but I just could not, I just couldn't get myself going. I was tired at the end of the day, apparently. So we're gonna go with, that's what I did for 3 nights. You guys are like, oh my gosh, Robin, that should have taken you like 1 evening. I am aware. Oh well. Oh well. The other thing I got up to is, oh, and I wanted to tell you, this is on a 32 count mystery linen. It came out of my stash. It was a hunk off something. And the flosses are ones that I talked about. I just kind of pulled a little, you know, pastel palette of colors, and so they are not what's called for on the chart at all. I just did my own thing. So there you have it. And that and this were stitched from that same little palette. So in case you were, in case you want to know what these are, I'll just rattle them off really quick for you, just so you have the information. So the lavender color is, these are all DMC, 554, and then I've got a light pink, which is 604, followed by a darker pink, which is 603, and my green is 703. Lots of 3s in here today. My blue is 813, and the lighter periwinkle blue is 341, and my yellow is 445. So that's the colors that I used on both those little spring stitches, and I think they work well together. So FFOing those this week is definitely on my radar, things that I want to accomplish this week. So that would be great to get those done. Okay, so there's that I stitched on. The other thing that I did stitch on this week is I did restart my Cranberry Christmas, which is a hands-on design chart. And it's got the patterns, obviously, for all 4 of those pieces. And so I started with this one down here. I am doing the Mary one. And this one, I got probably 2 days of stitching in on this one. Again, my stitching mojo is just not there right now, so my stitching is super slow, but I got pretty much a little over half done on Mary, and this is a restart. This is a also 32 count Belfast linen, and in the color Vintage Country Mocha. I've got a great big huge hunk of this, so I have plenty of fabric to do the other pieces in that series. So I'm looking forward to doing those, and definitely liking the way the sulkies are laying on this fabric. So restarted on Vintage Country Mocha Belfast 32 count. So I'm doing them in the sulkies that Kathy Haberman called for. So I have the cute little sulky pack, and so I'm just using one strand of the sulky and just cut off a length, and I don't have to worry about railroading my stitches. It just lays down really nice, and I've still got my original start in here that I can show you, and it just didn't give me the coverage I wanted. It just didn't work out for me. So I'm really happy with my new linen choice. So there we go. There's my second whip for the week, and I'm happy with this the restart on that. So that's the second thing that I stitched on. The third thing that I stitched on this week is Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. And this is Cranberry Christmas and this one, Huckleberry Farm. If you've been here, you know that those are my 2 whip go numbers. So I'm happy to report that I got 1 day of stitching on Huckleberry Farm, which isn't much, but part of my stitching, there's a little hummingbird flicking out my window. He keeps catching my attention. Sorry about that. Anyway, Huckleberry Farm, I had a bit of a boo-boo on this. Now I'm stitching this on a 36 count hand-dyed by Stephanie at BeStitchMe, which I asked her to dye for me based on the cover picture from Huckleberry Farm. I wanted something in a really mottled, beautiful purple, and she did a fantastic job. So here is my Huckleberry Farm. So what had happened, I forgot when I picked this up that I was stitching 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads, and I had done all of these little white flowers up here. I did them 2 over 2. So I was a little mad at myself, and so I went through and I removed the 2 over 2. A couple of you had suggested that I just leave it alone and just make those flowers a little more prominent. And that was a really great suggestion, except the type A in me was like, I don't know, it's always gonna stick out. And so in the end, I had to take them out so I could make peace with it, because the other thing I was worried is if those white flowers are further down in the border, I'll forget, which would totally be what I would do. So I removed the 2 over 2, restitched it 1 over 2, so it looks very uniform. And while this doesn't look like a lot of stitching, it stitched up great. And look at that cute little bird up here hanging out on the bush. Love it. And I'm just having a great time. Now, you're probably also noticing something new in my hand, because I have this on a scroll frame. Look at that. I have got this guy on a scroll frame because I have been curious, as I mentioned once or twice before, about a stand, a lap stand. And I ordered one for my birthday way back in February, and it finally showed up. So we're kind of moving into the haul, and I know that I'm not supposed to use things until I show them on FlossTube, but I couldn't wait. So I got myself an Elan lap stand, and so this is the clamp. My scroll frame will go in there, and I am trying two-handed stitching, and it's working out really well. I am enjoying a different type of stitching on the Huckleberry Farm sampler. I don't know that it will ever be my first love. I really enjoy the ease of stitching in hand. However, I am enjoying the uniformity of my stitches on Huckleberry Farm on the scroll frame. So it's okay to try new things, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying a new thing. And like I said, it's fun. I like it. Okay. My stitching, like I said, was really minimal this week. That's it. But that's okay. This week I think I'll get more stitching done, but there was just not as much stitching time as I thought. We had to help the parents with a few things, and that's okay. So cut down on my stitching. Okay, you guys, go get your beverage. It's time for haul. Haulapalooza. I'm trotting out my treasures that I purchased at Acorns and Threads in just a second. Before I do that though, I just thought I would show you that my beautiful Color and Cotton Floss of the Month showed up. Beautiful purples, some awesome, oranges, light peaches. I love them. So my floss club showed up, and then one of my fabric clubs, my fabric from Jodi, who is one of the Steel City Stitchers, came, and this month I received a 32 count linen, hand dyed by Jodi, and look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? That is fantastic. So that was one, and I get, she sends 2 pieces, and then the other one, oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful blue. Love it. So last month I got 36 count, and this month I got 32 count. Perfect. Perfect. So thank you, Jodi. I really love these. Yeah, gotta go through my stash of patterns and see what will look great on these. So that is my my fabric and floss club. And now, what happened at Acorns? Shall we talk about what's in my Acorns and Threads bag? All right. So I kitted up 2 projects while I was there. I had previously purchased the Hands-On Design Spring Chalk Talk. So I had a few floss that I needed, so I picked those up, and then I picked up a beautiful 32 count Belfast linen in the color navy, which I am going to stitch the spring chalk talk on. So pretty close to exactly what is shown in the picture on the chart. So bought myself a little fabric, picked up the missing floss. So I kitted up spring chalk talk. And I realize we are in the middle of spring, so I probably won't start this until, maybe, it sounds awful, might even be January, because I'd want to get it stitched in time for spring next year. So I'm in no rush to start this right away. However, something that I am in a bit of a rush to start is the Year 1 Frogwarts chart from the Black Beetle Society, because Frogwarts Year 2, the retreat is going to be in July, and so I'd like to have a little bit of a start on this guy. So there is a boatload of flosses required for this chart, so I have got a boatload of floss. Pardon me. Okay, I'm back. That was the high school. The learning launch pad thing isn't working. Okay. All right, so back to my floss. I bought floss after floss after floss after floss to kit up Frogwarts Year 1. Which it was amazing how many colors there are. The nice thing is they're using the same color palette for Year 2. So I'm assuming I have enough chart for or floss for both charts. That's what I'm hoping, because that was a lot of floss. Okay, and then when I was at Acorns and Threads, I also picked up this beautiful 36 count Edinburgh linen in the color light mocha to do my Frogwarts Year 1 on. It is not the called for fabric. They didn't have it. The called for, they suggested either vellum by Picture This Plus or parchment from Fiber on a Whim. They didn't have either one of those, which was, which is fine. So I just made a substitution with what they had available, and I think that'll be fine. It's not an over dyed, it's just your regular, Edinburgh linen. It'll be perfect, because there is so much going on with this chart that you probably can get away with, this is my thinking, you can probably get away with not having an over dyed fabric, because like I said, there's a lot to look at here, so that's okay. Okay, so we've got flosses, we've got 2 kitted up projects. What else did I get up to down at Acorns and Threads? Okay, so the other thing that I picked up while I was down there is I did pick up 2 etoiles, because our friend Helen D on FlossTube put out a freebie chart for 4th of July stitching, and she had charted these in some etoiles, and I'm like, I've never stitched with this stuff. I want to give it a try. So there you go. So I picked up my etoile to do Helen D's chart, and then after that I picked up some Anchor Black. Actually, there's 3 skeins. One of them ended up in the other pile. And this is to start the La-Di-Da chart, Something Wicked, which I showed probably 3 or 4 videos back. So I finally have my floss to start Something Wicked. Oh, and by the way, you guys, I was telling you about Victorian Motto. I was looking to buy a single skein of their midnight color. I got a really nice reply back from them that they are no longer selling individual colors. They are only doing floss clubs. So if you are curious about Victorian Motto, they have a floss club that you can join. So there you go. That's why I had to switch to the Anchor Black, because I'm not sure, because I've already used some floss off that skein, that I'd have enough for the whole chart. So that's why I'm making that choice. So there you go. And then last but not least, I did pick up a few charts. I will show you my charts. I picked up 2 things by Brenda Gervais. Her company is With Thy Needle and Thread. So I picked up her Love Notes booklet, and this is for, obviously for Valentine's Day and February stitching. I had seen this way at the end of February. It was far too late for me to get anything stitched up for my home decor, but I'm ready for next year, because I have been eyeing this chart, because these are such a great value, you guys. I mean, there's 5 patterns in here, and this was only $13. That's a good value for your money. And then along the same line, she just released Red, White, and Bloom, and there again are 5 patterns in here. Couldn't be cuter. Could not be cuter. So picked that up, and then I picked up from Heartstring Samplery the Cross Stitch Nation, and I'm going to do a round robin with my friends Sumi and Lynn, and we are going to mail it back and forth between the three of us, and we're gonna round robin it. Everybody is on board with the idea that if you want to change the colors, if you want to do a specialty stitch, go for it. So we are very excited to be starting this. I know that others have had that idea before, and it's not, you know, it's not a new idea that I came up with all on my own. But I talked to Lynn and Sumi, and they're on board. So I picked up my pattern, so we can get going on that pretty soon. Okay, the next thing that I picked up is by by Jeanette Douglas, and this is her chart, Vintage Acorns, which is phenomenal. There was a shop model there at Acorns and Threads, and I think it was stitched on a 40 count, which is what is suggested on the pattern, and it was gorgeous. I could not leave it behind. I had to have this. In fact, when I was shopping, my friend Lynn was with me, also my friend Erin, who's 2 Martini Stitcher on FlossTube and Instagram. Erin also picked up the vintage Acorns chart, and we both said, I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I just want to know that it's in my stash. Okay, and then the last thing that I picked up is by RTM, and it is the Quaker Turtle. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is one of the most gorgeous things I have ever seen. I love this chart. In fact, I might have to have a new start. I want to start this thing immediately. I have in my stash Pretty Little Hawaii from Satsuma Street, and I'm thinking the Quaker Turtle and Pretty Little Hawaii will be fantastic in my living room. My living room has got quite a bit of Hawaiian artwork. When I worked at Northwest Airlines, I went to Maui at least once a year, sometimes more. So I have a lot of art that I picked up when I was over on the island of Maui. So this Quaker Turtle, which is upside down, sorry, this Quaker Turtle is gonna look fantastic with my Hawaiian themed art in my living room. So I am super jazzed to start stitching this. Yeah. So you guys, that was my Acorns and Threads haul. It was fun. Like I said, there were if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the picture. There were 9 of us there. We all, you know, wore our masks, but the reason we felt that we could do that is everybody has had their COVID vaccine. We're all fully vaccinated. We wore our masks. When we were together, we socially distanced, except for that picture. And so we were just celebrating that we had done the thing. And so we just had the best time. Becca of Sambry Stitches, Anna Stitch Roadie, Audrey Stitchy Witch 42, Fiona of Fiona Little Craft Cottage, a new friend to me, Helen, who is Punky Pearls. Of course, Erin 2 Martini Stitcher was there. My friend Lynn, who does not do FlossTube, but is on Instagram, lynn.cox.7 if you want to look at her fantastic stitching. And then Anna had another friend who is not a FlossTuber join her. So there were 9 of us, and we just had the best time. So thank you for stopping in. That is all I've got for you. I wish you happy stitching, you guys. Stitch happy this week. I will see you next week, and we will see if I can not start Quaker Turtle. All right, you guys have a fantastic week and I will see you next time. Okay, bye friends.